guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with the Ship With Me. These are all orders that came through over the weekend. Some really interesting sales, some sales that took way longer than I anticipated, and some sales that came through way quicker than anticipated. But I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope your sales are continuing to climb as we get into the holiday season. But before we get started here, if you are new, if this is your first time here, first of all, welcome to the party. Second of all, I am Julia. That's my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, it is Monday, it is late, it is 3:30, so I need to get a move on, get these things packed up into my car and over to the post office. Why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipments. So the first thing we have here is a little guy that took a while to sell, kind of not surprised. It's a little Zara camisole tank top with cute V-front, V-back, burnt orange color, lace trim. It's super cute. It's super festive. This feels very holiday to me, but this is the kind of thing that if I'm having a particularly slow day at the bins, this is the kind of thing I might reach for because it will sell. I mean, it's not anything that's going to get me $30. It's not going to be a big sale, but it is something that it's kind of trendless. So the kind of thing you don't necessarily have to worry about being in or out of style. And I do remember picking this up on a very, very slow day at the bins. This might even be, if memory serves me right, this might even be an older tag Zara, which is generally an automatic no buy for me. But either way, I've had this for a while, so I was excited to get this thing on the move. I had it listed for just over 1 year, and I had it listed for $20, and I got an offer for $15, which I gladly accepted, again, ready to get this thing out of my closet. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $12.41, which isn't terrible, to be totally honest, right? I paid $1 for it, so it did sit for longer than I would have liked it to, but either way, not a bad profit. Next up, now this is a big one and physically big, a lot of material. This is from Natural Life. This is a slub cotton jersey jumpsuit. It's super oversized, super cozy, size extra large. I washed it and air dried it. I think every piece of lint that it has passed, it has picked up. Unfortunately, these kind of brushed fabrics have a tendency to do that, but Natural Life is one of those brands, the dresses I have sell pretty good, but I was not sure how this was going to do. I had to take that thing off camera to fold it. It was just so big. So this is 100% the kind of thing that you put on when you plan to park yourself on that sofa and watch movies all day and don't plan on doing anything else whatsoever. That is 100% what something like this is for. I'd be down for stuff like this, but I still just can't get myself past having to take everything off to go to the bathroom. You know? It's one thing when it's in your own home and it's in your own bathroom, but every time I'm out and about and I see these girls in these cute jumpsuits, while they look adorable and in theory, they're amazing because you put on one item and you're dressed. All I think about is these poor girls at a Dodger Stadium having to strip all the way down in those public bathrooms, or in an outdoor concert where you're dealing with porta potties. Ugh, no thank you. But this I can get down with because it's, my own house. But this I had listed, what did I have? I had this listed for $32 and I only had it listed for a day. But this was definitely something I was in the interest of, moving in and out of my closet fast. Just knowing that it's a soft brush black and it's gonna pick up every piece of lint. It's physically big, whether it's hanging in the closet where I keep most of my stuff or in one of the bins, it's just gonna take up a lot of space. So I was in the interest of moving this in and out. So I had it listed for $32. Within a day, I got an offer for $20, which I accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought my profit to $15 even. So I hope she loves it, and I hope she has lots of super cozy days on the couch in that. Next up, this was an exciting one. So this is a pair of vintage pants that I found. And again, they're wool, so every piece of lint. I think I've lint rolled these pants 45 times since I've had them. It's not that we particularly have a dusty house, it's just in a closet with a bunch of other clothes that lint off in different ways. So anyway, these were high-waisted with exceptionally wide legs, palazzo pant wide. This is just one leg. Isn't that fabulous? I mean, talk about something that somebody could take and turn into a real vibe. And I'll tell you one thing, if these were my size, there's not a chance that these would be leaving my closet. This is my particular flavor of vintage. And I think it's one of those like easy gateway drugs into vintage attire because it is, for all intents and purposes, it is a basic. It's a pair of black pants, right? But it's vintage, it's got some interesting like style to it with those ultra wide legs, with the ultra high waist. So it can easily be integrated into like a modern wardrobe without feeling too like on the nose retro. I thought that these were absolutely fabulous. Definitely one of my more plain vintage finds, but overall one of my favorite vintage finds I've ever had. So I had these listed for $38 for just 1 week. I had a feeling that these were gonna go pretty quick. And I got an offer for $30, which I accepted. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brings me to a profit of $22.26. And oh my God, I really hope she loves them because these are just absolutely fabulous. Next up, now here's a find that I had that I was so excited when I first found it. And it just didn't move. I got very few like nibbles on it. I think a lot of it had to do with the size. This is from Maje or Maje, however you want to pronounce it, M-A-J-E, which is definitely a bolo brand. Very high-end brand. This probably retailed $400, $500. Very, very expensive, beautiful quality. But it's this kind of chunky sweater. It is a size 2. I think that was the problem, with a nice velvet bow in the back. Obviously this thing wasn't moving over the summer, and now that we're back in sweater weather, I was hopeful that this would move on finally. I've had this for over a year, and I was so excited when I first found this. Of course, you know, I know that when you're dealing with really any clothes in general, extra smalls are gonna take longer to sell. You already have the aspect of it being a pretty expensive brand, which is going to be a more limited buyer pool further. You're dealing with like a niche luxury brand like Maje. It's not a brand that a ton of people know. It's not like a Gucci or like a For Love and Lemons that's like super popular and people know it. Maje is very much like an if you know brand, which is great. You know, that appeals to me, but it does limit the buyer pool. Not that I would have walked away from this sweater, but it was just a slower sale and I got less for it than I would have wanted to. So either way, I had this listed for $48 and I think I lowered the price on this like 2 or 3 times over the year. You know, smalls like size 4 to size 6 move slow enough. When you get into the size 0 and the size 2, it's less people still. So I had this listed for $48. I had it again just over a year. I got an offer for $35. I was happy to be moving this out of my closet with a $5.70 cost at one of my local thrift stores here. This brings me to a profit of $21.97. And there's the rub, guys. Like, I'll make more profit sometimes on a much less prestigious brand than I will on something like this. It's still something fun to talk about. I'm interested to hear if anybody else has found something from that brand. Like, what did you find? How much did you get for it? Did it sell quick? Let me know if you had the same slow sale experience or if you maybe had a bigger size and it moved much, much quicker. Let me know. Next up, perfect example, right? This is Abercrombie and Fitch. This retails for probably $68. Cute little granny style cardigan, front patch pockets, button front, collared, size small. And I think I made about as much on this as I did on the Maje sweater. So go figure. But this is a perfect example of a brand that more people know, more people are hunting for. Supply and demand and all that, right? Abercrombie, I do see a lot of it in the bins. I still sometimes struggle to figure out what are the older tags and what are the newer tags. This I was 99% positive was newer just because of the style. I can tell on the jeans, but I'm still struggling on the regular clothes. When it comes to regular clothes, if I see a sweater, I'll grab it. Dresses for sure, I will pick up. I've had a couple Abercrombie dresses and they sell very, very quickly. I think that they sell out a lot. So people, you know, they're on the hunt for specific dresses from them because their dresses are great and they have a pretty good, which is like funny if you remember Abercrombie back in the day and everything that like Abercrombie stood for in the early 2000s. As a non-size 2 girl, I never felt comfortable shopping there. But today they're pretty well size inclusive, which is great. The quality of their clothes is great for the price. It's not super inexpensive, but it's certainly not, you know, over $100 for most of the items. So I had this listed for just 1 week at $28 and I got an offer for $25, which I gladly accepted. And for most Abercrombie things, unless you're dealing with some of the dresses or some of the jeans, that's around what you're gonna get. You're gonna get that like $20 to $30 range on pretty much everything. With the $1 cost of the bins on this, that brought me to a profit of $17.89. This was in and out of my closet so quick, and I had so much interest in it. So many likes on Poshmark, so many likes on Depop, and ultimately that popped off on Curtsy. Curtsy is a new up and coming platform. Are you on it? Let me know. You can literally share your Poshmark closet to there and it pushes every day. I don't think any cross-listers are working with like sale detection on Curtsy just yet. So if you do use one and you sell something on Curtsy, you will still have to manually remove it from your other marketplaces. But you know, it's not like lighting the world on fire for me yet. It's still very, very young. I want to say that there's like 8 employees, which is mind-boggling, but so it's still a small company, but they are growing. But anyway, I'm all for diversifying, right? Like we all saw what happened with Poshmark. If you are not cross-listing, you really need to cross-list. Of course, I use Vendoo. This is not sponsored by them. I have worked with them in the past, but I just love Vendoo, so like I use them. But there are lots of options out there, so vet them out and see what works for your budget and the way that you run your business. But either way, guys, get all your eggs out of one basket because that is a dangerous game to play. Next up, one of you told me to hurry up and get this listed, and for good reason. So this is a Tommy Bahama tropical print dress. This is linen. I think this is a cotton lining. Cute little halter style top. These are the kind of things that, you know, somebody's going on vacation in January and you cannot go to the stores and find a tropical print dress. They're gonna be shopping secondhand. Also saving themselves like well over $100. Tommy Bahama is crazy expensive. It's funny, like I'm so used to seeing it at the thrift. Every once in a blue moon, I'll be in a store or I'll be at like Disneyland. I'll see some of the Tommy Bahama stuff and I'll remember that, you know, these are like $200. So expensive. So if you are going on a tropical vacation anytime soon, be sure to be shopping the secondhand market for these Tommy Bahama pieces because they're beautiful quality. Don't get me wrong, like Tommy Bahama stuff is gorgeous. They use really nice fabrics. Things are put together really well. The fit is nice. It's not cut super straight, if you know what I'm talking about. We use the term like Euro cut or juniors cut, like it's cut for like a real body. So Tommy Bahama is just one of those brands that you can buy with confidence. And if you are not looking on the secondhand market first, you're crazy. So I had this listed for just 3 days. So this is me passing back your PSA right back to the whole audience here. If you have tropical dresses from Tommy Bahama, Lily Pulitzer, that ilk, get them listed. Don't set them aside. Don't let them wait for summer because people are still buying them now. Wait till you see what else I sold this week. Anyway. Just 3 days. So I had this listed for $34, got an offer for $30, which I gladly accepted with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought me to a profit of $22.68. And I hope they love it, and I hope they have a fun vacation plan, and I hope they have a blast on that vacation. All right, next up here is this cute little shrug sweater from Bloch. I was kind of surprised at how quickly this went and how much interest I got in it. I did use the ballet core tags and stuff like this, but Bloch is like a legit ballet company, right? So they make point shoes and ballet slippers and leotards and tights and all that kind of stuff. But this was the kind of thing that like as a young girl who danced, like I wanted so bad, but they were so expensive. So maybe we've got a little bit of that. It's in great condition. They don't retail for all that much. I want to say that this retails for about $45, but still that's a lot of money, especially if you are in that level of dance where you're like burning through a pair of point shoes every week or so. So I'll pick these up anytime I see them. Oh my God. Okay. So anybody who danced back in the day, you'll know that there was a brand called Repetto, R-E-P-E-T-T-O. And they were, you know, just like a Bloch. They made shoes, they made ballet slippers, they made point shoes. They were never my point shoes. I was a freed girl. If anybody else was in ballet, let me know what your preferred point shoes were. I was a freed spade specifically. So this brand Repetto, I was flipping through, it must have been Pinterest or something, and I saw this pair of shoes that I thought were really cute, kind of like a modern style ballet slipper with a little bit of like a minimalist funky twist to them, and I saw that they were made by Repetto, and I'm like, okay, so it's made by a ballet company who makes point shoes, which are like, I don't know if you are aware of like the amount of work that goes into a pair of point shoes, but it is very intense. They're usually like shaped, a lot of them are still made by hand. So I'm thinking, okay, these are gonna be like, you know, $100, maybe like $150, which, you know, for a really nice pair of leather shoes, it's no big deal. It's kind of what you would expect to pay. Y'all, they were like $500. I was agog. And don't get me wrong, they were super, super cute. It was like, oh, okay. While ballet core is still a thing, they're capitalizing on that market. I get it. They're leather. The leather's more expensive than satin, but I can't imagine the process for making them being any less intense than it is to make point shoes. So anyway, I had this listed for just 2 weeks. Again, had a ton of interest on it. So if you are finding ballet stuff, be sure to pick it up. Obviously, mind your costs on it because they're not going to sell for all that much. But you know, if you're seeing a Bloch sweater like this, grab it. So I had it listed for just 2 weeks at $24, and I got an offer for $19.20, which I gladly accepted. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $16.86. Hope she loves it. Hope it goes to some good use. I would be so interested to learn if that was going to be used for like a dance application or for like fashion. Next up, we have a cute little blouse from Zara. This I just found like a week or two ago. Pretty standard blouse, sheer floral print with some kind of oversized sleeves with some little fabric covered button details. It's not the most like significant piece from Zara. This probably retailed $34.98, somewhere in that range. But I just thought that the print was super stinking cute. It feels very like fall floral, but also a little bit 70s, which I'm always here for. This is another one that had a ton of interest on it as soon as I listed it. Lots of views, lots of likes, and a couple like no-show bids from over on Depop. But either way, I had this listed for $26 for just 2 weeks, and I got an offer for $20, which I did accept. Again, this I don't think retailed for much more than like 35 bucks. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $16.89. Perfect time to be getting this particular print right back out into the world because it is so fall. Those warm colors, those kind of big, bold shapes. It's perfect time for now. And speaking of that, this is one that sold incredibly quick. This is a Free People Hendrix blouse. I've had this in a different color. I think it was black and green. That took a while to sell. This sold in hours. It's funny, like people were asking prices for this that were like wildly all over the place. There were some people that had this listed for like $18 and some people who had this listed for $64. And I feel like that is a thing with Free People. But this shirt is super cute. It's like a nice like brown olive color. It is again that really like fall wintry colorway. The other one I had was a little bit more bold. A green body with like black sleeves. It's a little bit more of a polarizing color combo versus this, which is very much a neutral. But I do like this blouse. It is called the Hendrix blouse. And it does seem to be one of those pieces that people like. You're not necessarily going to be getting $30, $35 on it, but it is something that will be in and out of your closet pretty quick, from what I surmise. At least in this colorway, maybe not in the other colorway. But it's super cute. It's got this like collar that can be worn like literally wide open and like off shoulder, and or also like cinched all the way up around the neck. It's one of those kind of versatile blouses that I love. So I had this listed for $32 for literally like 2 hours. And I got an offer for $23, which I gladly accepted. I do love having things come in and out of my closet in one day. So got the offer for $23 after like 2 hours. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $22. Hope she loves it. It is such a cute blouse and always, again, an exciting moment when things are in and out that quick. Next up, now let's chalk this up to things I never thought I'd be selling in November. These are a pair of denim shorts from Free People. I believe these are We the Free. Cute little denim cutoffs, size 26, so a pretty small size. I love this color, but talk about things I never thought I'd be selling at this point in the year. In fact, I had just gone through, I have my shorts and skirts in a bin, and I just moved all of my shorts to like the bottom of the bin, kind of anticipating that I was not going to need to touch them for a couple months. And literally like the day I did that, this sale popped through. And not just any sale. This was a full price sale. I had these listed at $34 and they popped through as a full price sale in November. So times are crazy right now. I mean, I will take those kind of sales anytime they come through because I always love a real off-season sale. So anyway, I had this listed for $34. They popped through. After about 6 months, I got these right before the summer. They didn't sell in the summer, but they sold in November. They popped through, $34 full price sale with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought my profit to $26.20. What a kick, right? Like, let me know about the oddest off-season sale you've ever had. Did you sell like a $500 Poochie caftan in January? Like, let me know. I'm interested to hear your craziest like off-season like surprise sale. Next up, this was kind of a fun pick. This is a pair of the Spanx. I think they're called like the perfect high-rise, something to that tune. These retail for like 140, 150 bucks. They're very expensive. And this is their kind of professional style pants. They've got like a seam in the front. But here's what's kind of funny about this. When I get to the bins, the first thing I do after picking up my shopping cart, if there's a shopping cart to be had, is I always grab a couple items from the bins to like put in the shopping cart. That way people know that that shopping cart is taken. Also, I'll always grab like 1 or 2 things to put in the bottom of my IKEA bag. I use an IKEA bag while I'm out shopping. And this was one of the things that I grabbed. Like I generally just kind of stick my hand into a bin and grab the first 2 or 3 things that my hand touches. And usually it's, you know, kids' clothes or some random thing that I end up putting back, you know, within 1 or 2 table turns. But I do always look at what I grab because you never know. And this time I pulled these out and they were in like brand new condition Spanx like work trousers. These go for a pretty penny. So that was an exciting thing. And that day, that was one of my really, really good bins days. I'll see if I'll link the haul where I got these down below. It was, again, a lucky start there. Spanx is one of those brands that like their clothing always does really well for me. You know, and it's expensive, right? They don't have a ton of different SKUs and they advertise pretty heavily. So like there are a lot of things that like people really, really are on the hunt for. And I know that these pants in particular were heavily advertised by them. So people are always looking to get a bargain on stuff like this, especially like work clothes. Nobody wants to go and drop $150 on a pair of work pants. So anyway, I had these listed for $75. I got an offer for $55 after just 1 week. And with a $1 cost of the bins in the world's luckiest claw grab ever, that brought me to a profit of $43 even. So hope she loves them. Hope she gets some good use out of them. Those pants, like I had a pair back when I worked in an office and had to dress business professional. I had a pair of Spanx like work pants and they were the bomb. They really did like suck you in without making you feel like constricted. Now, having not had to wear stuff like that for a long time, I'm sure if I put a pair on right now, it would be horrible. But back then, I loved them. Next up, this is a piece from Torrid that I have had for quite a while. This is one of their super soft pieces. It's size 3X. Cute little like heather gray marl cowl neck sweatshirt, very much like a perfect loungewear piece. This is a perfect example of the confusion that Torrid continues to sow for me. I've really slowed up on picking up their stuff. I do like the super soft stuff. That's one of the few things that I'll pick up. I'll pick up things that look a little bit more like gothy, think more like Hot Topic style. But for the most part, I've been leaving a lot of it behind. A lot of them feel like this in terms of sell-through. And this is about as like cozy and generally applicable as anything that they make. This isn't super girly, this isn't super goth, this isn't super like boho. This is very much something that any one of those people would wear at home, like as loungewear. And I had this for over a year. So here's our check-in. Let me know, how is Torrid doing for you? Is it picking up in the winter at all? Is it still like super slow? Let me know, because this used to be so hot. Like Torrid was one of those brands that you found and you knew you were gonna get like 30 to 40 bucks on it. And it has just, in my opinion, fallen off a cliff. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of brands are becoming more size inclusive, which is like excellent, you know, and obviously much needed, but I think that that is part of why Torrid is kind of falling out in popularity. Choice for consumers, over corporate profit. So anyway, I had this listed for $28 for over a year. And I think I had it listed a little bit higher, and I think I dropped the price at some point. My sidekick sent an offer for $25, which was accepted with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought me to a profit of $19 even. Happy to be moving this on. It is, you know, it is a cute, super cozy little sweatshirt, and I hope she loves it, and I hope it gives her a lot of super cozy days. Just two more to go here. This is a cute, okay, so this is a puffy skirt. And this is something that will probably not be on most of your radars unless you saw it on my bins haul where I found this. These are like all the rage in ski towns. So what you do, this is very much for like the après scene. So you finish your day of skiing, you take off your like outer shell pants, you put this on, so you've got like a little skirt with leggings on, and then you throw on your like Joan of the Arctic boots, and you have an entire look. These are sold in most of the ski shops. This is something that I would see a whole lot of. And it was kind of a trip to find one here. Also kind of trip to find one made by Mountain Hardwear. I don't think I've ever seen one done by Mountain Hardwear. I know Patagonia made one. I know some like the really high-end brands make a Goldberg, I think, makes one. But it is a really cute look if you see it out and about, because otherwise you're just sitting around in these huge baggy clothes that are far too hot to be in like a warm après bar. So this is what you do. This is ski town club wear right here. So anyway, I had this listed for $29. I did have it for about 6 months, of course, not a big surprise. This is definitively winter gear. Of course, I did sell shorts today, so that's a thing. So I had this listed for 6 months, $29, and it popped through as a full price sale. So with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $23.49. Hopefully she has some epic après experiences in that skirt. And finally, this cute shirt from J. Crew. This is 100% linen, super lightweight, breezy knit. This is a size medium and this pretty Breton stripe. I do not pick up a lot from J. Crew. I see a ton from J. Crew, but I do not pick it all up. But stuff like this, they're linen, they're Breton stripes. This is like what they're known for, and definitely things that sell really quickly. I've had like 2 or 3 of these similar to this that sold like same day. Now granted, it was more towards like summertime, so that would make a little bit more sense for this. This is definitely like a summer weight sweater, but it is so signature. So like J. Crew is just one of those brands that's so expensive and doesn't resell all that well. So I operate on just sheer gut in terms of style with what I'll pick up. Obviously, if there's something with like a really high-end fabric, silk, you know, this is linen, I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention, but for the most part, a lot of their stuff I just leave behind. Let me know, do you do a lot of J. Crew? Do you do J. Crew Factory? If you didn't know this, I saw this topic on like a Facebook group that I'm in. If you see a tag that has like 3 little diamonds underneath the name J. Crew, and I think Banana Republic is also the same, that is a factory store piece. That is not mainline J. Crew. I can go into like the ins and outs of that later. If anybody wants, let me know. But just know that if you are outsourcing and you see that, just know that it was like a cheaper piece. It was cheaper to start with. It's made with cheaper materials. It's not going to sell for as much as something from like the mainline will. I will more or less never pick up a factory piece unless I find something kind of, you know, exceptional, like something like a great little black dress in like a plus size, just because they're rare. Like that's a place where I would make an exception. But for the most part, anything J. Crew, Banana Republic, Gap Factory, I'm not going to touch it, because they do. It used to be that it was like overstock from the stores. And today they make separate lines and separate factories with separate textiles just to feed those stores. In fact, I think that's why J. Crew tried to, I think it was J. Crew that tried to like rebrand their factory store to like J. Crew Mercantile or something like that, because it is a completely different product lineup. Anyway, I had this listed at $32 for just under 1 month, and I got an offer for $25, and with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $19 even. So I hope she loves it. I'm not gonna lie, I did try it on to see if it worked for me. It is a size medium, it was very oversized, it just did not hang right, so I might be keeping my eyes out for that in a size large or extra large. But that is it, guys. That is the shipment for today. Thank you so much for hanging with me while I literally get my work done. It is always so nice to have somebody to chat with and kind of nerd out about these things. So I really appreciate you taking a little bit of your time to sit and do my work with me. Hopefully, I know that some of you will put me on in the background while you're doing your work, so like, we're co-workers, right? Let's call it that. But guys, if you had fun, please consider leaving a like or a comment on this video. Of course, do not forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey, but without further ado, guys, have the most beautiful week. Happy hunting, and I will see you in